Welcome to a series called The End of Times, where we're going through the book of Revelation verse by verse to see what it is you can expect to happen in the end times. But more importantly, what it is we should be doing. And we've reached this incredible place in this book where heaven and earth have faded away, and we see the new earth and the new Jerusalem, and we see heaven, our eternal place with God, present with God. Judgment, all that is over. Suffering, loss, death, all that is over. And literally, heaven and earth has faded away. And as we see this glorious new Jerusalem, this gift that is to the bride that comes down, that's our gift. When Jesus said, I go and prepare a place for you, this is the place that he has been preparing for us. And as we look at that, it's very important that we don't just jump around and we see what it is that this thing is. So pick it up where we left off, Revelation 21, verse 9. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls filled with the seven last plagues came to me and talked with me, saying, Come, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me a great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. Her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Also she had a great and high wall with 12 gates and 12 angels at the gates, names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, 3 gates on the west. Now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he who talked with me had the gold reed and measured the city, its gates and its walls. And the city is laid out as a square, and its length is as great as its breadth. And he measured the city with a reed, 12,000 furlongs. Its length, breadth, and height are equal. And he measured its walls, 144 cubits according to the measure of a man, that is, of an angel. And the construction of its wall was like jasper, and the city was pure gold like clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, and the fourth emerald, and the fifth sardonyx, and the sixth sardius, and the seventh chrysolite, and the eighth beryl, and the ninth topaz, and the 10th chrysoprase, and the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. Now, I want to take a bit of time today and talk about the stones, the different precious gems, the things that are constructed of this, because we're going to touch on it today, but I want to hit these all in detail. They're very significant, because understanding what it is God looks like, what he does, his throne, his kingdom, the place he prepares for you and me, what this looks like, and all of these things are things we also have here on earth. Now, of course, not nearly as glorious as it will be in heaven, because these are precious stones that are flawless, which makes things like gold look like glass. When gold is so pure and polished and perfect, it's transparent. And all these things are, and it's very important that we don't just jump around and kind of say, well, here's that they look like, and here we understand, well, why is it that the gates are pearl? Why is it that the streets are made of gold? Because if we go even to the throne room of God, now keep in mind when we saw the throne room of God, because that's where John was taken up in the spirit, originally was the throne room of God. Now, of course, heaven and earth had been decreated at this point, so we're going to just look at the old throne room of God. And it says, after these things I looked, and behold, a door standing open in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was like a trumpet speaking with me, saying, Come up here, and I will show you things which must take place after this. Immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he who sat there was like a jasper and sardius stone in appearance. And there was a rainbow around the throne, in appearance like an emerald. So even seeing God, like, what does God look like? Like, you look at God, and it says that he who sat there was like a jasper and a sardius stone in appearance. And there was a rainbow around the throne, in appearance like an emerald. I don't know about you, but the first time we can gaze upon Yahweh and we see this gift descending like this and it's illuminating, you just know he's in there. The illumination shows you that he is in there. These 12 gates, you know, not everybody gets through those gates. Jump to 27, but there shall by no means enter it anything that defiles or causes an abomination or a lie, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. It's the only way we can enter into that holy present. Darkness cannot exist in the light. So we are in need of a redeemer to you know, I just tell one lie. I probably told one or two today if I really thought about it. Nah, I haven't, now that I think about it, but I'm sure in the last week I've told a few, you know, so what, I can't enter into the holy presence of a holy God? Well, no, not without a redeemer. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. And her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. And knowing that we can go in, the knowing that finally we could gaze at him. Yahweh, like we could look at him and not vaporize like he told Moses, but look at him and maybe even embrace him. It's important we see why it is illuminating like a jasper, because it is the glory of God illuminating the whole place. Of course it's going to look like a jasper stone. This is why it's so important we really understand why each stone is the way and each precious stone is the way it is. It's very important we understand it, and this is just the first example of how critical it is. You need to understand why it's illuminating the way it's illuminating, for sure. It's because it's illuminated by the glory of God. Hope these videos are helping. Stay with me, we're almost there. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, and we're almost there. Stay with us. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon, that link is below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.